Look at your life carefully. You say you want success. You say you want freedom. You say you want greatness. But every day, your actions tell a different story. Your mind says, tomorrow. Your excuses say, later. Your comfort says, rest. And while you wait, life keeps moving. The truth is this: success does not belong to the most talented. It belongs to the person who can control their own mind when nobody is watching. If you cannot discipline your mind, you will become a servant to your emotions. Today, change begins. Stop negotiating with your excuses. This is where most dreams quietly die. Not because people are weak, not because they lack intelligence, not because opportunity never came. They lose because every day, in small invisible moments, they negotiate with themselves. The alarm rings. 5 more minutes. The work becomes difficult. I'll continue tomorrow. The goal feels too far away. Maybe this isn't for me. And little by little, excuse by excuse, they surrender control of their life without even realizing it. Understand this clearly. Your excuses will always sound intelligent. Your mind is designed to protect comfort. It will give you perfect reasons to stay where you are. You are tired. You deserve a break. Conditions are not ideal. You will start when motivation returns. But ask yourself, how many opportunities disappeared while waiting for the perfect moment? How many goals remained unfinished because comfort felt easier? Look at the people who achieve extraordinary things. Do you think they wake up every day feeling inspired? No. They simply stop debating with the voice that wants an easy life. Imagine a cold morning. One person stays in bed because they do not feel ready. Another person gets up anyway. At first, there is no difference. But after weeks, months, years, one built strength. The other built excuses. This is how lives separate. Not in giant moments. In ordinary decisions. There is a story repeated in countless forms around the world. A person starts with nothing. No perfect conditions. No special advantages. Only a decision. I will do what needs to be done, even when I don't want to. And over time, that person becomes unrecognizable. Not because life became easier, because they became stronger. The dangerous thing about excuses is that they feel harmless. Skipping one workout feels harmless. Delaying one task feels harmless. Breaking one promise to yourself feels harmless. But repeated enough times, excuses become identity. You stop saying, I made excuses, and eventually become, I am someone who never finishes. That is the moment discipline disappears. So starting today, change the conversation. When your mind says, later, answer, now. When it says, I'm not ready, answer, I begin anyway. When it says, this is difficult, answer, that means I am growing. Do not wait until you feel motivated. Motivation comes and goes. Discipline stays. Success belongs to people who act despite resistance, people who move despite fear, people who continue despite discomfort. Every time you defeat an excuse, you prove something powerful to yourself. My mind does not control me. I control my mind. And the day you truly understand that, your life begins to change. Train yourself to be uncomfortable. This sounds simple. But this one decision separates ordinary lives from extraordinary ones. Most people spend their entire lives trying to escape discomfort. They chase convenience. They avoid struggle. They wait for perfect conditions. And slowly, without realizing it, comfort becomes their prison. Because comfort asks for nothing. No growth, no sacrifice, no transformation. But success demands all three. Think about this. Every meaningful achievement in life begins with discomfort. Learning a new skill feels uncomfortable. Building discipline feels uncomfortable. Starting a business feels uncomfortable. Speaking in front of people feels uncomfortable. Changing your life feels uncomfortable. The reason most people never reach their potential is not lack of talent. It is because they stop the moment discomfort appears. The moment things become difficult, they interpret struggle as a sign to quit. But discomfort is not a warning. Discomfort is the path. Imagine standing at the edge of cold water. Your mind immediately says, not today. But the moment you step in, your body adapts. What felt impossible becomes normal. Life works the same way. The first difficult conversation feels impossible. The first early morning feels painful. The first rejection feels unbearable. Then something changes. You survive. And suddenly your limits begin to move. There is a reason great athletes train beyond comfort. There is a reason disciplined people continue when others stop. They understand something powerful. Your comfort zone does not protect your future. It protects your current identity. And if you want a different life, you must become a different person. That transformation never happens in comfort. Picture someone running before sunrise. No applause, no audience, no guarantee. Just one person choosing temporary discomfort over lifelong regret. That decision may seem small, but repeated daily, it becomes identity. Day after day, they teach themselves, I do not run because I feel good. I run because I said I would. That mindset changes everything. Your mind becomes stronger each time you remain in discomfort without escaping. Every difficult workout, every extra hour of focused work, every moment you choose discipline over distraction, you are building evidence. Evidence that you can do hard things. And once your mind believes that, your life expands. Do not ask life to become easier. Become the person who can carry more. Do not seek less resistance. Build more resilience. Because one day, opportunities will appear that require courage. Moments will come that demand sacrifice. And if you have trained yourself to remain calm inside discomfort, you will move forward while others retreat. Remember this. Comfort feels safe, but growth feels alive. Choose the challenge. Choose the uncertainty. Choose the difficult road. Because every time you walk willingly into discomfort, you discover a version of yourself that comfort could never reveal. Control your thoughts before they control you. Most people believe their greatest enemy is outside of them. They blame circumstances. They blame lack of opportunity. They blame difficult people. But the hardest battle is usually invisible. It happens in silence, inside your own mind. Because every day, your thoughts are speaking. The question is, who is in control? Think about how many dreams are destroyed before they even begin. Not because reality stopped them, but because a thought appeared. I'm not good enough. And instead of observing that thought, they obeyed it. One thought became hesitation. Hesitation became inaction. Inaction became regret. This is how potential disappears. Quietly. Your mind is powerful, but power without discipline becomes chaos. One negative thought becomes 10. One doubt becomes a story. One failure becomes an identity. And suddenly, you are no longer seeing reality. You are seeing life through fear. Imagine someone standing in front of an opportunity they worked years to reach. They are prepared, capable, ready. But inside their mind, a voice whispers, what if you fail? Then another voice, what if people judge you? And another, what if you embarrass yourself? Nothing outside changed, only thought. Yet thought alone became a prison. Understand this clearly. Not every thought deserves your trust. Your mind produces comfort, fear, memories, predictions, insecurities. Thoughts appear automatically, but action is still your choice. You do not have to believe every sentence your mind creates. Imagine sitting beside a river. Leaves are floating past. You watch them. You do not chase every leaf. Thoughts work the same way. Observe, notice, release. Do not attach yourself to every emotion, because emotions change. Truth remains. History is filled with people who acted while carrying doubt. The student who spoke despite fear. The entrepreneur who started despite uncertainty. The athlete who competed while hearing internal criticism. They did not wait for fear to disappear. They learned to move while fear existed. That is mental discipline. There will be mornings your thoughts tell you to quit. Days your thoughts convince you progress is too slow. Moments your thoughts say, you cannot do this. That is the exact moment your training begins. Pause. Notice the voice. Then choose your response. Say, this thought exists, but it does not command me. Then continue. One step, one action, one decision. Again and again. Over time, something incredible happens. You stop being dragged by emotion. You stop reacting to every fear. You become steady, focused, calm under pressure. And eventually, the same mind that once created excuses becomes the mind that creates discipline. Remember this, your thoughts create your direction, but only if you surrender to them. Master your attention, guard your inner world. Because the person who learns to control their mind can remain strong even when life becomes difficult. And that is where true success begins. Build small daily victories. People often imagine success as one massive breakthrough, one perfect opportunity, one life-changing moment, one extraordinary decision. But that is not how transformation happens. Success is quieter than that. It is built in moments so small that most people ignore them. The truth is, your future is not created by what you do once. It is created by what you repeat every single day. Look at how most people approach change. They become inspired. They create huge plans. Tomorrow they will wake up at 5 a.m., exercise for 2 hours, read 50 pages, work harder than ever, and for a few days they feel unstoppable. Then reality arrives. Energy drops. Life gets busy. Motivation disappears. And everything collapses. Not because they lacked potential, because they tried to build a mountain without learning how to place one stone. Small victories seem insignificant, but they are powerful because they create identity. Imagine someone who decides to walk for 10 minutes every day. It sounds too small. People laugh, but after 1 month, they no longer see themselves as someone trying to exercise. They become someone who keeps moving. Then 10 minutes becomes 20, then running, then discipline. Everything started with one small promise kept. This is how change really works. A page becomes a book. A workout becomes strength. One focused hour becomes expertise. One disciplined day becomes a disciplined life. There is something deeply important happening every time you complete a small task. You are sending a message to yourself. You are saying, I finish what I start. And your mind listens. Think about the opposite. When you constantly delay, when you abandon commitments, when you keep saying tomorrow, you train your mind to doubt your own words. Eventually you stop believing yourself. That loss of self-trust becomes heavier than failure itself. But every small victory repairs that trust. Make your bed, finish your work, take the walk, read the chapter, write the page. Not because those actions are magical, but because every completed action becomes evidence. Evidence that you are becoming reliable. Most people underestimate consistency because results are invisible in the beginning. The first day changes nothing. The first week changes little. But months later, everything changes. Like water shaping stone. Slow, silent, unstoppable. Think about a person learning an instrument. One practice session seems meaningless, but years later, people call it talent. What they never saw were the thousands of quiet victories, the days nobody celebrated, the moments nobody noticed. That is where greatness is built. Do not chase dramatic change, chase repeated action. Do not ask yourself, how do I change my entire life? Ask, what victory can I earn today? Then protect it. Repeat it tomorrow, and again, the next day. Because one day, you will look back and realize the person you wanted to become was built through small promises kept when nobody was watching. Eliminate what weakens your mind. Most people think success is only about adding more effort, more knowledge, more work, more motivation. But sometimes transformation begins by removing distractions, removing habits that steal energy. Removing environments that quietly destroy your focus. Because not everything in your life deserves access to your attention. Your attention is your life. Where attention goes, energy follows. And where energy goes, your future is built. Look carefully at modern life. Never before has distraction been so available. A few seconds of boredom and you reach for your phone. A difficult task appears and suddenly you need entertainment. A quiet moment arrives, and instantly something fills the silence. Little by little, your ability to focus disappears. Not because you became incapable, but because your mind became trained to escape. Think about this. How many dreams have been delayed by endless scrolling? How many talents stayed hidden because comfort became addictive? How many people convinced themselves they lacked discipline when in reality they never protected their attention? The dangerous thing is that these habits rarely feel destructive. They feel harmless. Just one more video. Just one more hour. Just one more distraction. But life is not lost all at once. It is lost in fragments. One distracted day, then another, until years pass and you wonder where your potential went. Imagine two people. Both have the same ability, the same number of hours, the same dream. One protects their environment. They create quiet. They reduce noise. They choose books over endless consumption, work over excuses, growth over entertainment. The other allows every distraction inside. Every notification controls them. Every emotion changes their direction. Years later, their lives look completely different. Not because of intelligence, because of attention. Your environment is shaping you whether you realize it or not. The people around you, the content you consume, the conversations you repeat, the habits you tolerate, all of them are becoming your future. Ask yourself, does this make me stronger? Does this increase my discipline? Does this move me toward the person I want to become? If the answer is no, have the courage to let it go. Strength is not only the ability to push forward, it is also the ability to say no. No to distraction. No to habits that weaken you. No to environments that keep you small. At first it feels uncomfortable, because your old self will resist. But every time you remove something that weakens your mind, you create space for something that greater, more clarity, more energy, more focus, and eventually something powerful happens. You stop reacting to life. You begin directing it. Remember this, a strong mind is not built only by what you do. It is built by what you refuse to allow. Protect your attention. Guard your standards. Because the quality of your mind will determine the quality of your life. Become the person who keeps their word. There is a promise more important than the promises you make to the world. It is the promise you make to yourself. Because people often believe confidence comes from praise, from achievements, from success. But real confidence is built somewhere much quieter. It is built in private, in the moments when nobody is watching. When you say you will do something, and then you do it. Most people do not realize this, but every promise you break to yourself leaves a mark. You say, I'll start tomorrow. Tomorrow comes. Nothing happens. You say, this time I'll stay consistent. A few days later, you stop. You say, I'll become disciplined. Then comfort wins again. And after enough broken promises, something dangerous happens. You stop trusting yourself. You still dream. You still want more. But deep inside, a voice appears. You never follow through. That voice becomes heavier than failure. Because when you lose trust in yourself, even opportunity feels meaningless. Now imagine the opposite. Imagine making one small promise. Wake up when planned. You do it. Read 10 pages. You do it. Exercise for 20 minutes. You do it. Suddenly something changes. Your mind notices. You begin creating evidence. Evidence that your words mean something. Evidence that your actions can be trusted. And slowly, self-respect returns. People often admire disciplined individuals and assume they were born different. But discipline is usually not dramatic. It is someone repeatedly proving to themselves, when I decide, I act. Think of a bridge. Each kept promise is another piece added. One day, that bridge becomes strong enough to carry bigger dreams. But every broken promise removes support. Eventually, nothing feels stable. There is a reason some people remain calm under pressure. Why they trust themselves in difficult situations. Why they move forward while others hesitate. It is because they built a history with themselves. They learned, I show up, I continue, I finish, and that identity becomes stronger than temporary emotion. Do not promise everything. Do not announce 10 goals. Do not chase appearances. Start smaller, but become unstoppable. If you promise 1 hour of focused work, protect it. If you promise consistency, honor it. Your standards become your character, and character shapes destiny. There will be days you feel tired, days motivation disappears, days nobody would blame you for stopping. Keep your word anyway, because every time you act despite resistance, you send a powerful message to your mind. My decisions matter. Over time, confidence stops being something you chase. It becomes something you carry. Remember this. Success is not built only by big victories. It is built by becoming someone whose actions match their words. So speak carefully, commit intentionally, and once you decide, move. Because the strongest person in the room is often not the loudest. It is the person who learned to trust themselves completely.